Hello everybody, it's Maikito. I hope everybody's having a good day and has had a good day so far. First of all, if you see the color shading in the background, I am watching the game one of the NBA Finals between Indiana and OKC. So in case you're wondering why the background's like that, I do have that playing in the background. But we do have more international games in this slate, and I've mentioned it last video and I'm mentioning it again. Despite however the day went the day before, we had a good day. I still always recommend with these international games to play a little lighter because, as always, I mention it every time, just in case somebody misses it or in case you forget. International games are a lot more unpredictable because they don't play with their countries as often, and the team chemistry might not be there. They play different roles and all that good stuff, but if I do have any added plays, which I did in the last video, they would be in the pinned comment, which I do anticipate to have some more just because I'm not 100% sure what the lineups are going to be and not all the lines are added for all the games. So, as always, if I do have any added plays, they will be in the pinned comment. But other than that, I'll just get straight into the plays. My first play, not too much to explain, is Jeremy Doku to go under 3.5 shots away from home for Belgium going up against North Macedonia. The line immediately popped out at me regardless of the team that they're going to play because it's just too high of a line for him. He's a good player, yes, don't get me wrong, but he dribbles down the wing and he cuts back most of the time. He's more likely to make a pass as opposed to taking the shot. Besides, he's away from home, which is also a plus for us. And if you look at his last couple of games, just for Belgium, he went under at home with 2 against Ukraine, under with 1 at home against France, under with 2 against Italy away from home, despite Italy having the red card within 20 to 30 minutes. Most of the game, they were up a man, and he still went under with 2, and he went under with 1 at home against Israel. And in that game, he had 8 chances created, which correlates with the point that I made in the beginning, saying that he's much more of a player that's going to pass the ball. He's going to dribble and then pass it to his teammates as opposed to shooting the ball. And even in the Premier League, whenever he didn't even start half of the games, he only started half. So when you look at the shots per 90 stats, usually the numbers get bumped up to what they usually would be. But even then, he still only averaged 1.73 shots per 90 in the Prem. And while Macedonia is not like they're a great defensive team, I just feel like 3.5 is just too high of a line. So I like it. Jeremy Doku to go under 3.5 shots. And that second player prop that I have so far that I like is Daniel James to go higher than 3 shots at home for Wales going up against Liechtenstein. He had a great season for Leeds. He averaged 3.41 shots per 90 in that season with 21 goals and assists and 30 starts. And the lines are usually bumped for players when they play for their country, when they play a team with a matchup like this. But at 3.0, his normal line would be like at 2.5, sometimes even at 3 in the championship. So I just think at 3.0, you're getting a pretty good deal here, a pretty good steal. He has a great matchup against Liechtenstein, who have a horrible defense. They're not a great team at all. And if you look at just their most recent games, they gave Kazakhstan, who played away from home, 16 shots. They gave North Macedonia 17 shots, who also played away from home. They gave them 17 shots. And San Marino, who is notoriously known for being a bad team, San Marino played away from home and gave them 16 shots. And all of those games while Liechtenstein were at home. Now they're away against a better team, in my opinion. Wales are a better team than Kazakhstan, better team than North Macedonia, much better than San Marino. And now they're at home. Liechtenstein's away, so it's just even better for us. And the matchup is a good for both Wales and Daniel James to exploit in general. Besides, he's a long shot taker. I'm looking at the shots that he took in the season for Leeds that just finished. He took 59 from inside the box, 40 from outside the box. He's versatile as well. He took 55 with his right, 39 with his left, and he's a very quick player, so he can dribble down the wings and take the shots himself, whether he plays on the left or whether he plays on the right. I'm not really that much concerned, and I think at 3.0, it's a good line against a great matchup at home. I like Daniel James to go higher than 3 shots. Before I get into the money line plays, as always, I would really appreciate it if everybody liked the video and commented as well. It helps boost the video out to more people. I give all of my plays out for free. I don't sell any type of premium for anybody that's new to this channel. The only form of premium that I do have is my YouTube members. If you are interested in that, I'll say it's premium because yes, while it is paid, it's if you just want to support the channel, and 2, you do get the plays out a little earlier than you would if you're not a member. So if you're not a member, those that are already got all these picks and these plays before everybody else. And I have people messaging me really pretty often asking me what's my actual premium so they can get even extra picks. But no, I really don't believe in those premiums. I just feel like even this, Well, I'm the one doing the research. Anybody can do this, so I just feel like paying for premiums is just not really necessary, and I just enjoy doing this and enjoy making money for everybody. So if you want to support the channel and get the plays out early, that's the only sort of premium that I do have, which is my YouTube membership. So if you're interested in that, again, link for that, and I do have my Discord linked if you want to join that, which is not a premium either, completely free for those that want to talk about their plays, other plays, talk during the games, not just about soccer, WNBA, NBA, MLB, tennis, CS:GO, everything, all that, a good community I'm trying to build over there. Link for that in the description, and all my links for everything else is linked as well. So I really want to thank anybody who supports me in any way. I have two money line plays. This first one is in the World Cup qualification for South America. For -150, it's higher than 1.5 Venezuela goals at home, going up against Bolivia. It's two teams fighting for a possible World Cup qualification spot. They have a great matchup here against Bolivia, who is horrible when they play away from home. And if you look at the last couple of away games that they've played, they lost 3-1 to Peru, lost 4-0 to Ecuador, lost 6-0 to Argentina. And for example, they conceded 3 against Peru, who have scored less goals than Venezuela. So Venezuela is a better team offensively, in my opinion. And Peru were able to score 3 at home. I expect Venezuela to score at least 2. They have a great matchup and a bad defense. And if you look at the Copa America games as well for Bolivia, which were away games for both sides, they lost all 3 games, first of all, and conceded and lost 3-1, 5-0, and 2-0. So even in the game where both teams were away from home, Bolivia still weren't even able to capitalize on that and played horribly, which again just shows you how bad Bolivia's defense is when they don't have that high altitude when they play in Bolivia in general. And Venezuela have been able to score away or at home in general in the last 8 out of 10 games. And they've only had 4 home games, competitive home games, since 2024. And in those games, they had 5, 5, 6, and 6 shots on target. And I expect more against Bolivia. I expect them to convert those chances. They have good attacking players with Salomon Rondon, Joseph Martinez, Yangel Herrera, Savarino, who plays on Botafogo. They have great attacking players, and I don't see them not scoring at least 2. So I like this play. They have a great matchup for -150, higher than 1.5 Venezuela goals going up against Bolivia. And the second one, this is in World Cup qualification for Europe. I got this for -148, and it's higher than 1.5 Israel goals going up against Estonia. They actually already played each other in March in Israel at home for them, and they were able to win 2-1. And despite it only being 2-1 and scoreline wise, it might have looked like a close game, Israel actually dominated that game with 75% possession of the ball, had 29 shots, and had 11 shots on target. So they should have scored more than 2, in my opinion. Estonia conceded 2 against Moldova the game right after that. So if they were able to concede 2 to Moldova, who's a bad team, I expect them to score, Israel to be able to score at least 2 against Estonia. And with Israel being in the group with teams like Norway and Italy, they need to take advantage of the matchups and games that they have, like teams with like Estonia. And they actually have some underrated attackers like Solomon, who wasn't getting playtime in Tottenham, got loaned out to Leeds, had 22 goals and assists in 30 starts with them. Glauch, who had 15 goals and assists in 21 starts for Salzburg. So they have pretty good underrated players. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Baribo, who's a striker for Philadelphia Union, who's in the best form of his career, should be getting called up. So that's just another attacker they can rely on to score. And Israel scored 2 against Norway. They were able to score against France. These are their most recent games. They were able to score 2 against Norway, scored against France, scored against Italy twice, scored against Belgium. So if they're able to score against these much better defenses, I expect them to score at least 2 against Estonia, and the team that they already dominated once did it once again. I need to take advantage of this matchup. I like it. I like the play for -148, higher than 1.5 Israel goals going up against Estonia. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll quickly go over last video's picks. I'm wearing the robe for a reason. I only wear it when we had a great day. We had a great day. First of all, we swept the player props. I had 1 added play and that hit. YouTube wise, we had Nico over 1.5 shots. He hit. Even if he took the bump at 2, he still went over with 3. And Mbappe over 2.5 shots, which was a safer play. I know some people took the 3.5 because the 2.5 line got taken away. That hit as well. And then I added Dembele, who at 2.0, who went over, which was a line I was already looking at, but I wasn't sure if he was actually going to start the game. But as soon as the lineups were confirmed and I saw he was starting, I easily added that as a play. So he hit. We swept the player props. And then money line wise, we swept both of the ones that I had in the video. Both teams to score in the France and Spain game. What a great game to watch, especially as a neutral. And then we had Qatar to not lose, and Korea to not lose, South Korea, and they both won their game. So that was an easy slip there. And then we were one away from sweeping the full day, which was an added play, money line wise, that I added, which was UAE to score and Saudi Arabia to score. I last minute changed. Instead of having UAE, I actually had Jordan to score, but I changed my mind to UAE, and they had great chances. And the one time I take them to score, the opposing keeper had man of the match, had 6-7 saves, and stopped UAE from scoring, which was very unlucky for us. But the read was there. We had a great day, 2-1 day money line wise, 3-0 day player prop wise, so a 5-1 day overall. So we had a great day, and hopefully international wise, it's hard to come by. And hopefully we can do the same thing with the great reads that I feel like are good for me in tomorrow's slate. And like I mentioned, if I do have any other plays, it will be in the pinned comment. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out tomorrow.